This is the end, beautiful friend. Welcome to the show. This is the end, my only friend, the end. No safety or surprise, the end. Very elaborate plans, the end. Our lies and alibis, the end. I'll never look into your eyes again. Welcome to the show. Can you picture what will be so limitless and free? Lost in a stranger's hand, in a desperate land, lost in a romance, wilderness of pain, where all of the children are insane. Oh yeah, this is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end. This is the end. Or is it the beginning? Welcome to the show, the Saturday Night Live stream. Place where Big Daddy gets on the mic and just rants and raves, and sometimes I sing a song or two. That's usually what we do. We try to keep it lighthearted. Welcome to the show. All right. What are we going to talk about tonight? Yeah, enjoy the show while you watch it live, guys, because last week, my show, it was so fucking good. It was so fucking fire. YouTube yeeted it in less than 24 hours. Now, you know the fucking show is fire if YouTube yeets it in less than 24 hours. Especially after I had like basically gone on a soliloquy mid fucking stream saying, hey, whatever you do, don't spread links to the show. Don't talk about it. Keep it to yourself. The nail that sticks up, he gets hammered down. We don't want to get fucking struck. And sure enough, they fucking struck the goddamn show. It's like, The good thing it was just a warning strike, though. I mean, they didn't even give me a warning strike on my old channel. Bastards. Jack Stafford in the house. Welcome. Yeah, they fucking as soon as I saw that the stream was taken down, I was like, oh fuck. I knew the Chippewa Indian bit went a bridge too far. I knew it did. I mean, that was set a new precedence in misogyny. I mean, anybody who listened to it live knows that. It's like, oh fuck. I had been waiting over a year to deploy the Chippewa Indian bit, waiting for the fucking perfect moment. Like, Jesus Christ. And the stream is up for less than 24 hours and it's gone. You gotta be kidding me. God, that's so fucking frustrating. Yeah, anyway, I go into the YouTube studio to go dispute it or whatever. And it turns out they didn't even yeet the stream because of overt misogyny. No, they yeeted the stream because I was spreading medical disinformation. It's like, what? Disinformation? Like, when have I ever purported to be a fucking news doctor source of whatever? I mean, goddamn. First of all, if you're getting your news from a late night comedy channel on YouTube, I just simply don't know what to say for you. It's like, what? It's like, what kind of medical disinformation did I spread exactly? I mean, goddamn. These motherfuckers. I'm going to have to figure out a different name for it. I'm just going to have to call it the Mark. Short from Mark of the Beast, I guess. The Mark. I'm going to have to call it the Mark. Spreading medical disinformation. Are you fucking kidding me? Those bastards. They're going to get their comeuppance one of these days. These motherfuckers. Yeah, speaking of like cracking down and getting authoritarian, I guess up there in Canada, old Trudeau, the bastard son of Fidel, he's unleashing the snipers, I guess. Yeah, he's got the fucking cops out in full force. He's got the snipers on the fucking roof. Yeah, they're Looked like a mini communist red China up there. Looked like a Tiananmen Square type incident's about ready to pop off. If I was those Canadians, I would be weary of false flags, agent provocateurs, that kind of shit. Yeah, hopefully those truckers hold strong, because it seems like the Canadian government, like they're not going to bend. They just keep passing different little whatevers and just keep trying to break the will of the truckers. And last I heard, they were stealing the firewood of these truckers. They were like sub-zero freezing temperatures, and they had fires going to keep themselves warm out there, and the cops were stealing their fucking firewood. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, we're sinking to new levels of villainy. I mean, this is like Ebenezer Scrooge level villainy. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, we've literally reached like cartoon levels of villainy. Like, when are the people gonna just, well, I guess they are standing up to agree. I mean, you can't fucking go full Bolshevik on them, I guess. No, you can't just have a, that kind of shit's never gonna happen. People are too weak, and I don't even know if the Canadians are as armed as the Americans, because I know Australia gave up their guns. I don't know if Canadians did either. Surely the Canadians are armed to a degree. At least maybe they got shotguns or deer rifles. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, those fucking truckers, they got to hold strong though, because there's more fucking information coming out every day about how dangerous the mark is. Like, I had heard some of the original mark batches were recalled because they were given quote unquote false positives on HIV tests. It's like, really? Are you sure those were false positives? And now a Nobel laureate in virology came out and said that if you get your third mark, that go down and get yourself an HIV test, and you'll be surprised at what you see, and then sue your government afterwards. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if anything comes of that. Simple Jack in the chat, welcome. Jack Stafford. Oh fuck, I wanted to listen to that Chippewa bit again. Yeah, I know, it was pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, Big Daddy knows how to handle those fucking feminists. I know how to fucking roast them and turn them into good comedic material, basically. Yeah, I remember that whole thing with that stupid feminist. I don't know if it's all blown over or whatever, but yeah, remember Ethan Van Sciver, EVS as he's called, was almost acting like he's scared of that fucking feminist. Like, he didn't even want Jeremy the quartering debating her. She's gonna make you look bad. Something happened to Ethan Van Sciver. I think I've got a real convoluted conspiracy theory about it. It all stems back to John Delarose, because that was not Ethan Van Sciver's voice. I heard John Delarose's voice coming out of Ethan Van Sciver's mouth. Because the old Rose Tico chopping Ethan Van Sciver I used to know wouldn't hesitate to fucking invite that stupid cunt onto his own show and skewer her. I mean, that's the EVS I used to know. Like, I don't know who this EVS now is now. I mean, it's literally John Delarose's voice, his soy fucking effeminate beta voice coming out of EVS's mouth now. It's I might get into this theory later on. It's real convoluted, but it goes back to Robotoad and the Comicsgate trademark and all that. But we'll put that on the back burner. We don't want to get too retarded too early on, scare away too many people. Oh yeah, we're drinking on some tea tonight. I ran out of coffee. You go pick a bunch of wild herbs, brew up some good tea, throw a little cinnamon in it. Oh yeah, gets the job done. Yeah, I hear they're going after Joe Rogan again. This time they went back into his past and found out that he said the N-word one time. Ninja what? Ninja who? Yep. But it wasn't in any sort of derogatory, you know, Risey Lee type way. And they're trying to cancel him over it. Joe Rogan. I mean, isn't this guy don't you reach certain levels of to where you're just simply uncancelable? I mean, the amount of viewers he gets, like isn't it like fucking 20, 30, 40 times that like CNN gets, something like that? I mean, once you get that big, like you're pretty much uncancelable, basically. And what the fuck about old Poopy Pants Joe? I mean, doesn't he fucking slip up and fucking drop N-bombs like Hiroshima, like fucking about every other fucking week or so? Well, I remember back in my time, I used to take the whip to this here ninja. Joe, shut up, for fuck's sake. And you have to go tackle him, get him off the stage. Yeah, there's a different standard, I know that. If you're a hardcore leftist, you're basically you could basically devour an infant like live on camera and like nobody's gonna fucking care. They'll figure out a way to cover up for you. You'd literally be smoking crack and having sex with underage prostitutes. The fucking media will figure out a way to cover up for you. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Yeah, I wonder if you thought Corn Pop was a ninja. I remember that Corn Pop. Boy, we played a game of dice. And he cheated me, and I called him out on it. That Corn Pop, boy, he pulled a fucking switchblade on me. That dirty old ninja. Joe, shut the fuck up. Yeah, I guess the left is handing out crack pipes to their voters now. I don't know if you guys heard that one. They're handing out fucking crack pipes to their voters. Boy, I wonder how this is going to play with the BLM crowd. Can you imagine if Republicans were giving out crack pipes to black people? I mean, goddamn, the outrage. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, if you're a crackhead, you might be pretty stoked to get a free crack pipe. Wow, my last crack pipe has been broken. I've been smoking on that damn broken crack pipe. But them Democrats, boy, they gave me a new crack pipe. So you know what I'm gonna do? Once those midterms elections come, I'm gonna go down and vote Democrat. Yep. I remember the last time they gave me an Obama phone, and I went and voted Democrat. They gave me a crack pipe this time. You believe that fucking shit? I mean, at least with Obama phone, it was a piece of technology. It was something decent. They could go flip it for some drugs or something. The crack pipe, I mean, goddamn. I mean, they're just fucking. It's like they don't even care anymore. They should have at least provided a little free crack. Fuck. I mean, the CIA has been providing crack to the inner cities for how many years? Yeah, speaking of the midterms, I guess you see the left, they're lifting mask mandates all over the place. Yeah. Like, oh, we don't want the people being too mad when they go to the polls. Yeah, what's going to happen is they're just going to Debo it again, just like last time. Remember Debo from Friday? Like, that bike, that's mine. I'm taking it. Just took it. That's what they're going to do. They're going to, like, they're going to play possum, you know, lift the mask mandates, pretend like they're going to roll stuff back. But then as soon as it comes around, they're going to Debo it. And then right after they take the House and the Senate, and then they're going to institute the mask mandates again. That's what they're going to do. I guarantee you. I'm rarely ever wrong on this shit. Anybody who knows me knows I'm batting about 300 on my predictions. Yep, they're going to Debo that shit. And then they're going to institute the mask mandates again. You watch. Because then once they have the House and the Senate and the White House, boy, then they do whatever the fuck they want. Nobody will be able to stop them. Well, I said the very first thing when Trump came to power in 2016, like I would have called all the Republicans together and said, "Hey, like I'm not doing a fucking thing until you replace Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and for leadership positions. Get new leadership in there. I'm not doing anything until you get rid of those fucking guys." But Trump didn't do that. Now to this day, fucking that stupid Mitch McConnell still fucking shit up in there. Republicans, the stench of weakness is just so choking to me. The only thing worse than a liberal Democrat is a Republican, because Republicans sit idle and allow Democrats to get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with. Evil thrives when good men sit idle and allow it to happen. That's reality. But at least the Canadian truckers are stepping up, providing some sort of a beacon of hope for mankind. Let's just hope they don't cuck out. Yeah, I'm just afraid that they might bust out the hardcore technology against them, because we have this sort of tech that can disperse crowds. It's crowd dispersal tech, and we've tested it on our own people at our own facilities, in our own embassies and shit. People know it as Havana syndrome. But we wheel out these fucking vehicles and they got these fucking big dishes on them, and then they boom hit you with the frequency. And they got 3 different modes, and they're codenamed good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Good morning is the frequency. It's like a tinnitus. It's like, whoa, there's something going on here. It's real uncomfortable. Good afternoon. Oh, that's gonna fucking really fuck your world up, and you're gonna want to leave that area. Like, oh shit, like my bowels, my mind, I just feel bad right now. I need to get out of here. Good night. That's the frequency that kills you. Yeah, they've actually weaponized frequencies that can fucking kill you. If they truly wanted to, they could turn those frequencies full max on those crowds and just fucking kill them all. Let's just hope that the Canadian government doesn't resort to authoritarian China level measures against their people. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Let's hope they just allow commerce to continue rather than force these people to put poisons in themselves. That would be most ideal scenario. If everybody was capable of resisting the mark. Don't allow them to make the book come to pass. That's what they're trying to do. Kill the prophets, making their book come to pass. The fuckers are evil. Oh yeah. Yeah, most ideal scenario would be mankind bonded together over the common good against evil. Like if Christian and Muslim were capable of banding together against the greater evil, boy, wouldn't that be something? Yep. America and Russia somehow forge an alliance, take down communist Red China. Yeah, something's got to happen. Because if we continue down this road, we're just going to wake up one day, find out that the Chinese are our landlords. They fucking own us because they're buying up all the land. And we owe them how many trillions of dollars? What happens if they decide to call in that debt one day? Like, oh, sorry, China, we can't pay you. Oh, that's fine. We'll just take Ohio, Michigan. Actually, we'll just take the whole eastern seaboard. You watch. It'll happen. Not in that way exactly, but and by the time it happens, the people will be so fat, bloated, and weak that they'll just be, oh well, I still get to watch my Netflix, don't I? Like, yep. As long as you keep the people's internet on, they're not gonna fucking revolt. Hell, you could even take away their food; they'll still figure out a way to survive. Take away their internet, oh shit, then they'll fucking revolt. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do that. Try to take away the internet at some point. Use that as a bargaining chip against people. Part of their social credit score. Uh-oh, you made a pretty pro-Trump post here a while back. It looks like we're gonna have to take away your internet for a week. Like, wait, what? I need the internet for my business. Sorry, boy. You're guilty of wrongthink. Don't think it won't happen. Fuck. Look at the way big tech is going with all of this censorship and authoritarianism and fuck. I mean, hell, you just saw my fucking show last week got yeeted for medical disinformation. I mean, this is a goddamn comedy show. A fucking comedy show. Fucking medical disinformation. You fucking kidding me? Lord of mercy. Well, I guess we're more than comedy. We're a little bit of everything. No subject is taboo or off the table, after all. And I do open the show up for guests later on. If anybody does want to come on, chop it up. The Streamyard's link is in the description. Yeah, I do open it up for feminists. This was one of the reasons I mainly put the Streamyard's link out there. See if I can get a feminist on here to debate them. Because it was feminists that attacked my first channel and caused me to have it go to ground, so to speak. Yeah, my 2 strikes should be coming up pretty soon and being erased that way. I think it might be this month or next month, I forget. But then I can unprivate the videos from my old channel again. I don't know if I'll unprivate all of them, but yeah, probably keep. I don't know if I'll keep streaming from this one or the other channel. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's into the Star Wars, but I hear that they had the Boba Fett movie or show. I hear it was pretty bad. Beta Fett, I call it. Yeah, I hear people are complaining about it. They liked the Mandalorian, but they didn't like the Beta Fett one. Vicky Verse in the chat, welcome. Yeah, I heard Luke Skywalker was in that fucking Boba Fett shit. I wonder if they completely cucked him out the way Rian Johnson did. I'm sure they did. They can't show Luke in a positive light, obviously. Now, Luke, he was sacrificed at the altar of the feminist man-hating agenda. They killed Luke. He's dead. And thus Star Wars is dead. The Last Jedi was so bad it retroactively ruined the original trilogy. I mean, how can you go back and watch the original trilogy knowing that Luke ends up becoming that? I mean, that's how bad that fucking movie was. Said this before. A movie so bad that it spawned an entire cottage industry of people grifting off of how bad it is. Fandom menace, you know. Got anybody familiar with the Fandom Menace, that offshoot of YouTubers that sprung up as a knee-jerk reaction to how bad The Last Jedi was? One of the denizens within that crowd, called Jeff Hicks, he has a channel called World Class Bullshitters, and I used to watch it back in the day. I haven't watched it in forever. Like back in the day when I used to watch it, there would be, you know, shit, 600-700 people in the live chat and shit like that. Yeah, he got quite a bit of views. And he had launched a fucking comic called Stealing Solo, which was like his own fucking real bad self-insert Star Wars parody comic where he kidnaps Harrison Ford and takes him to his basement and to reshoot Star Wars, I guess. That's the premise behind it. But anyway, he's released a new comic called Wokebusters, and it was a parody of Ghostbusters. Now, his first comic, Stealing Solo, it made way more money than it should have. Shit, I forget how much it made. 80,000 between both runs, I guess, something like that. But this Wokebusters, he had a flexible goal of $20,000, but I don't even think he raised 13,000. Like he barely made over 12, I think. Somewhere between 12 and 13,000 he was capable of raising. And on his closeout live stream, it barely had more than 100 viewers watching it. I was like, Jesus Christ, just how far the mighty have fallen. To go from launching your comic way back in the day and making that much money, having that many people watching your live show, all the way down to just fucking barely making north of 10K, barely having 100 people watching you. Yeah. I remember watching him way back in the day, and I almost had the feeling that Jeff Hicks thought that this whole pop culture outrage grift was just going to last forever. That it was just going to be a gravy train, and he was just going to keep making videos complaining about the latest Disney bullshit, and he was just going to keep making money with the YouTube revenue, and I'm sure he still does with some of his videos, but yeah, it seems like you see, he used to be a comic. He used to make comics. He wanted to make comics. Like that was his whole thing back in the day. He wanted to get into, get into making comics and all that. Shit, he should have struck when the iron was hot. You know, when he had a fucking big audience, and you know, when his like right after stealing Solo, like he should have did that right, and should, instead of fucking it, and he should have did another comic. You know, and like that's where he should have, because the fucking pop culture outrage grift is only going to take you so far. It's going to burn out at some point, and you got to fucking build something from it. And like he could have built a small comic empire from it and selling his own personal brand of comics and shit. But it seemed like he put the outrage grift bullshit ahead of doing comics. And I think that's what a lot of people in the comics gate kind of suffer from too. But yeah, poor Jeff Hicks on his closeout stream. Boy, he couldn't get no star power. Like there was no big Fandom Menacers came on. Liam fucking Gray was like the biggest name star power he could get on the show. That's how fucking desperate he was for guests. Boy, when Liam Gray is your headliner star, you know you're fucking hard up. Like, goddamn. Jack Stafford says, now Jeff Hicks is with Jessie Milestone. Have you seen her, Indiegogo, begging for money to start a fencing school to make more money from others? Please buy me a business. No, I don't think I've seen that one. Yeah, I hear she's some sort of a fencer. Yeah, boy, you could tell that Jeff Hicks is raised by a single mother, because only a dude raised by a single mother could be attracted to Jessie Milestone. Yeah. Poor Jeff. You know he's the bottom in that relationship. Vicky says there are no more Fandom Menacers anymore. Oh yeah, that's right. I think didn't it all kind of just fall apart after Zack Snyder came out and called them all a bunch of fucking racists or whatever? I'm not Phantom Menace. I'm not Phantom Menace. I'm not Phantom Menace. The thing I found most funniest of all, Jeremy Griggs, he was supposedly the leader of the Phantom Menace. I remember him saying it one time. I'm the leader of the Phantom Menace. And he was the very first one to throw Phantom Menace under the bus, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I'm not Phantom Menace. I'm Geeks and Gamers. That's my brand. My brand. My brand. Vicky says, have you seen Jeff Hicks? He's lucky to get anyone with a vagina. Yeah, he is. Does look like a bit of a nerd. He's definitely one of those people that needs the fucking red pill. I know that. There are some men out there that I see, and I just tell myself, fuck, this guy needs himself red pilled bad. And Jeff Hicks, he's one of those dudes. Like, motherfucker, you need red pilled quickly. Boy, just imagine. Can you imagine if Jeff Hicks had full red pill awareness? Like all of a sudden, it just hit him like a magic spell, and he had full red pill awareness. He's like, oh shit, wait a minute. What the fuck is this? He looks at Jessie Milestone. He's like, oh shit, what the fuck am I doing here? Oh shit. Blah, blah, blah. And he just starts throwing up. He fucking staggers out of house. Just on the first plane ticket back to Ohio. That would be fucking hilarious. Yeah, but I guess Jeff should be lucky he's got anybody. This is the thing about a guy like Jeff, though. He's basically a lump of clay. He can mold himself into something more. Like he's got a little bit of juice going because he's got a little bit of fame, notoriety with that show. You know, if he hit the gym, started working out, got himself a full red pill awareness, I'm sure he could get himself a better woman than Jesse Milestone. It's all about reconnoitering the mindset to a better way of thinking, a better way of living. He's got to give up all that Star Wars bullshit, fucking Disney nonsense. Stop playing fucking toys. Jesus Christ. It is what it is, though. Do what makes you happy. Yeah, one thing that made me happy back in the day was going out and buying movies from video stores. Chinese kung fu movies. It was like a vice of mine. I would get to see from I think it was from the 1960s, 70s, 80s. There was this kung fu studio called Shaw Brothers Studio. They made some of the fucking best kung fu movies of all time. God, I had bought so many fucking kung fu movies. It was a vice. You know, I was reading an article here recently. Shaw Brothers Studios had released a bunch of fucking videos and shit. Yeah, Cheng Che, he was one of my favorite directors. He had fucking directed over 80 movies. Yeah, those Shaw Brothers movies, those kung fu movies, they're a little bit different than a fucking Hollywood movie. Like in those old Shaw Brothers movies, more often than not, there was not a happy ending, and the hero more often than not died at the end in a real vicious way. I always thought that was subtle Chinese social engineering for their people. You know, like you may attempt to be a hero and stand up against authority, but you're going to die. I think that's what the message was in those movies. Oh, yeah. Damn, that tea is good. Yeah, a lot of those Shaw Brothers movies are based on ancient Chinese. Well, the ancient Chinese they were a lot like the English during the time of Arthur. They didn't really keep any written records, so it's all just a lot of legend and shit. And one of the more popular legends that gets told in Shaw Brothers lore and various films is the tale of Shaolin, like the burning of Shaolin Temple and the various adversaries that Shaolin was going against. And there was one particular villain that is featured pretty prominently in Shaw Brothers lore. He was actually featured in Tarantino's Kill Bill 2. He was known as Pai Mei, the evil white-haired priest. But that was always one of my favorite tales. But the first burning of Shaolin Temple. Yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and tell that story. It's a pretty good one, since we're already segueing into that. But you see, back in ancient China, there was a temple near Mount Song called Shaolin Temple, and there was these various schools that would come there once a year and have tournaments. And there were five masters that were head of these schools, and they would vie for dominance. Whoever that was the top school would end up the guy would be the head of the fucking Shaolin Temple, the abbot or whatever. And Shaolin Kung Fu, it was mostly consisting of hard fist style Kung Fu. And four of the five masters were prevalent in the hard fist style of Kung Fu. And then it came time to pass down the leadership of Shaolin Temple. and it came down to Chi Tian Su and Pai Mei, but the abbot at the time, Hong Mei, he passed it down to Chi Tian Su instead of Pai Mei because his style of martial arts was more in line with the traditional Shaolin. Because Pai Mei, he practiced what was called soft palm style of martial arts, which was a bit untraditional. So what happened was Pai Mei, he decided like fuck this, and he like forsook it all and just became a lone wolf monk and just started like training hardcore in his martial arts, his own special form of soft palm style. Now around the same time, this outside force came and took over China. They were known as the Manchus. Now the Manchus, they were fucking ruthless. They wanted to consolidate power. And the Manchu emperor at the time saw Shaolin Temple as a threat to him. So he decided that Shaolin Temple had to be destroyed. But the only problem is the monks of Shaolin were so fucking badass, like 128 of them were capable of like taking on a small army and defeating them. So what he did was he had brought before him the evil white-haired priest Pai Mei, and he ordered him to fucking train an army, 50,000 men, to go burn Shaolin Temple to the ground and kill all the monks. So some say Pai Mei really had no choice in the matter. If he would have refused, they probably would have killed him on the spot. But regardless, Pai Mei took the men to Wudong Mountain, and he began training his army. The Wudong Quan, they were called. Or in the West, commonly they're called the Wu-Tang Clan. They made a rap group about them. But anyway, once Pai Mei had his warriors trained, they marched on Shaolin Temple, and they fired flaming arrows at it, fucking burnt it down. But in order to spare the remaining monks inside, Pai Mei challenged the abbot, his rival Tian Su, to a duel. And they fought, and Pai Mei fucking killed him, broke his neck. But what happened was it pissed off the countryside. Like Shaolin Temple was so beloved by the people and by China as a whole. Like Pai Mei's form of martial arts, anybody who was like for 100 years, anybody who was caught practicing that form of martial arts, not only were they killed, but their whole family was killed, I guess. But luckily, before Shaolin Temple was fully burnt down, a small handful of monks were capable of making it out. And they took various death scrolls with them because the Shaolin, they had figured out very powerful martial arts techniques, and they wrote them down on scrolls. And one of these powerful forms of martial arts was called the dim mak. Now, the dim mak is considered a forbidden form of martial art because it's one-hit kill maneuvers. The 5-point palm exploding heart technique from Kill Bill 2, that's actually a dim mak maneuver. But Pai Mei, he was well versed in various forms of dim mak that he had integrated into his own martial art style, Bak Mei. To this day, there's a very small school that still practices that form of martial art. And basically, it's considered a fucking martial arts buster. Like it can destroy all forms of martial art: taekwondo, jeet kune do, tai chi, karate, kung fu. Like it specializes in defeating all forms of martial arts, basically. But the whole crux behind dim mak, this particular form of martial art, just imagine certain pressure points on the human body. There's about 36 like real important ones, various spots, mostly located around the spine, near the heart, near the genitals, a couple near the face, a couple near the head. And if you apply enough pressure to these spots in certain areas, you can kill somebody. And not only can you kill them instantly, but you can like time it to where they'll die like a few days later and shit. There's actually been like real hardcore assassins that have been hired that know dim mak that can boom hit somebody with a death touch to where like a few days later, and then they'll eventually die of heart failure. Like that's how fucking hardcore this martial art is. But yeah, there's another form of martial art called Iron Palm. There's a real good Shaw Brothers movie called The Five Fingers of Death, where they went into detail about Iron Palm. It's basically where you turn your palm into so fucking hard it's like iron. You turn your palm and it's like a fucking little axe. Basically, you take somebody's limb off. But I got to thinking, if you could combine those two martial arts, Dim Mak and Iron Palm, well, you would fucking basically be a fucking kung fu Superman. Yeah. Then I remember one time a bouncer friend of mine who trained with a certain Tai Chi master from the Philippines. Now he said this Tai Chi master, this guy was the real deal. Like he could do this little maneuver with his hand and like pull a fucking flowered pot off of the goddamn sill, like using some sort of chi energy and shit. But this Tai Chi master was telling him like if you perfect Tai Chi and you become a fucking Tai Chi master, you can destroy a human being. And I'm talking about, well, anybody who's ever quail hunted knows what I'm talking about. If you kill a quail, you take it and you just kind of like fold it inside out real quick and you just take out the breastbone. It's like a couple of seconds and you just basically fillet it. Like a Tai Chi master, this guy was talking about how you could do the same thing to a human. If you grab them by their collarbone on both sides and pull hard enough, you could basically fillet a human, just tear them in half, basically, using the power of Tai Chi. And I got to think, fuck, if you can master Dim Mak, Iron Palm, and Tai Chi, you would basically be an invincible fighting god, basically. And I don't think there's ever been a Shaw Brothers movie that took any of their villains to that level. Yeah, one thing I like to do with my comic, like anybody, like if you're real familiar with Shaw Brothers, you could probably see it. But what I like to do is take the coolest Shaw Brothers movies and the coolest elements of those movies and kind of tinker them and reconnoiter them for a modern day Western audience and like lace it into my comic a little bit. Like there's this one villain, like he takes the trope of the invincible white-haired master type thing, but the whole premise is like his kung fu has transcended his physical limitations. Like so what he did was he replaced his arms and legs with cybernetics to make himself more deadly. And then he comes back like, well, he pops onto the scene later on to fight the main character who kills his daughter in the first chapter. It's some pretty epic shit. Yeah, that's one thing. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of cool stuff out there in the Shaw Brothers lore to be mined, and that's one thing Hollywood hasn't fucking tapped yet. One thing that Hollywood won't be able to fucking destroy is go back in there and remake those Shaw Brothers movies and destroy them. For one, there are so fucking many of them, and two, like a lot of them are so violent and bloody. Like there's this one called One Armed Swordsman. That was a real good one. The dude literally like loses his arm like in the beginning in like a real fucking violent way. So then he trains with his left arm and shit and like goes back and then One Armed Swordsman 2 is actually way better. Yeah, those fucking movies are so violent and like you'd never be able to make those movies nowadays. Like in like today's modern Chinese standards and practices, you would never be able to make one of those Shaw Brothers movies nowadays in modern China. Like that's how fucking cucked China's become. Yeah, I remember watching a good Yen Wo Ping movie one time. Yen Wo Ping, he's a real famous martial arts choreographer. He did all the choreography for a lot of the fucking any sort of martial arts film that happened in the last 20 years that was like a fucking big martial arts film probably had Yen Wo Ping as the fight choreographer. But in his youth, he was a director. And I remember he directed a real fucking good kung fu movie. It was it took the invincible white-haired master trope to a whole nother level. Like the fucking villain, it was played by Gordon Liu, the guy who was also the villain in Big Trouble Little China, that fucking dude. But he's wearing a white-haired wig, and he had mastered Iron Body. This goes far beyond Iron Palm. Like his whole body is made of iron, and he chases down this last survivor of this monk of this school he had slaughtered. And this monk comes up to another school. He's like all bloody and like dying. He's like, "Please let me in. They're trying to kill me." So they let him in and let him seek refuge. All of a sudden, this invincible white-haired master comes and demands them to fucking throw him out to him. But since they've let him in or whatever, like it's like they can't just fucking give him to this guy because it'll like go against all their fucking principles or whatever. So the school has to defend this guy to the death. Only problem is this guy is so fucking powerful, he ends up slaughtering almost everybody at this school as well, including their master. And only 5 students escape, and they're like the weakest ones. And they decide rather than just hide out, they decide to vow revenge against this fucking invincible master. Only problem is he's so powerful that they know that they can't destroy him. They're gonna have to think of a different way, a more untraditional way. So they figure out we'll throw daggers at his eyeballs or whatever. Like, nah, he'll be able to see it coming and dodge it. So then they devise the ultimate plan. What they'll do is tell a joke so funny that they'll get him to sit there and laugh. And when he's sitting there laughing with his mouth open, prolonged, then they'll throw the dagger through his mouth. So what they do, their whole training regimen revolves around telling jokes and throwing a dagger at a small little target, and also training themselves physically so that they can still last long enough during the fight, because they know most of them are going to end up dying and that there may be one of them left to deal the final blow. So they go through all this training and all this shit, and they finally challenge this invincible white-haired master, and they take him on, and he just starts fucking crushing them. And while they're fighting him, they're like trying to tell jokes the whole time and shit, but he just defeats them so easily. And there's 2 left, but they're like all fucking broken and bloody. And he just finds the whole thing just completely funny and hilarious. These weak men trying to fight him and tell jokes and shit, that he just starts laughing. Like, and when he does that, the fucking dude has one good arm left, pulls out the dagger, throws it, and then the camera angle shows back behind the guy, the fucking dagger exploding out the back of his neck. And then he's like, grabs his throat, and he starts fucking staggering around, and like fucking eventually goes on the ground and starts convulsing, and it finally dies. Then the 2 students that survived get up. They're all fucking broken and bloody, and they smile in victory, and the sun starts setting, and then the movie just sort of ends. That's how those Shaw Brothers movies usually end. But guy, you talk about a good payoff. This evil motherfucker had caused so much fucking chaos and caused so much pain and suffering for so many people. And then he finally got his fucking comeuppance in the end and died in the most horrible fucking brutal manner possible. Even if it was only for about 15 seconds or so. Those 15 seconds were fucking painful. And those students sat there and they reveled in it. And it was one of those films that had a good payoff to it. It's always good to have a good payoff to something. All right. Well, shit, we've reached about the halfway mark. Maybe we'll take a little 2-minute break, and then we'll come back and finish the show off. Yeah, we'll take a little 2-minute break. Two-minute break, guys. Be back. And we're back. All right. Let's just hope don't get struck by Nintendo for playing Mario Kart music. All right. Where are we going with this? Yeah, I hear they're coming out with a new Lord of the Rings. Well, you know they're going to have Sauron be a white male. They're going to race swap Aragorn. It's going to be a black female now. You watch. Now, I hear they got black hobbits in there. Or black dwarfs. A black dwarf. Yeah, I heard a story about the reason why there was no dwarves in the original Lord of the Rings is because the dwarf or the little people guild or whatever the fuck they call themselves, the midgets, they went on strike or something because I forget what the deal was. They went on strike, but Peter Jackson was like, "Fuck it, let's just not even have dwarves in here." So he just they didn't even have the midgets. So it's like if we're gonna have dwarves, well, I think Gimli was the only fucking dwarf they had in there. Like that was the reason why you didn't see dwarves walking around in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. Like, because normally in Middle Earth, like dwarves are a normal thing to be seen walking around. But no, the little people, they got a little too big for their britches, so to speak. It's like if they would just played ball with Peter Jackson, they could have been in the original Lord of the Rings. Who knows? Jack Stafford, he probably wanted to pay them half price. I instantly apologize for that joke. You don't got to apologize for jokes here. Sometimes we get a little politically incorrect. Yeah, I hear, see, back in the day, Hulk, he used to be one of my favorite characters. It used to be my nickname, the Hulk. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. But yeah, I hear like anybody who familiar with comics knows that comics kind of went off the rails. Like they turned Captain America into a Nazi. Iron Man's a little black girl now. You guys want to know what they did to the Hulk now? Here's the latest of what I heard they did to the Hulk. I hear that they turned the Hulk into a starship. I wish I was joking. No, I hear that the Hulk is now a starship. Yep, Hulk is a starship. Bruce Banner is his psyche who controls Hulk from the inside, but his psyche is still inside a small version of the Hulk who's still inside of the starship, but he has to fight dudes because Hulk's rage powers the starship. I don't know. It sounds just so stupid. It just goes to show how off the rails comics have gone. But it always a feeling of comfort knowing that I'm working on something behind the scenes. Whenever I feel the chaos and the tumult of the world out there, I always remember, yeah, I'm making my comic. I'm fighting back against them in one way. If the old saying, the pen is mightier than the sword, well, then take up the pen against them. And this is my way of taking up the pen against them. You can't take up the sword against them. I mean, fuck. Call you a terrorist. Throw you in jail. Put you in a death camp. Turn you into Soylent Green. Yeah, what can you do? Looks like Amit Rain is in the house. Welcome. Yeah, Starship Hulk sounded stupid as fuck. I like the Planet Hulk trilogy. Prelude to Planet Hulk, and then World War Hulk. That was a good trilogy. Yeah, I remember World War Hulk though. That kind of made me mad in a way because I had bought the 3 books and I was taking my time reading them, you know. And World War Hulk, it had a picture of Hulk on the front cover with a fucking sword. And I remember thinking to myself, all right, this is what I want to see. Hulk wielding a sword. Like, because normally he's always punching shit or whatever. But I was thinking, if Hulk ever wielded a weapon, I bet he would bring it to a whole nother level. So after reading Planet Hulk, I didn't get around to reading World War Hulk till maybe a year later. And when I finally did, like I was looking forward to seeing Hulk wield a sword, keep in mind, for a long time. And when I finally read it and got all the way through it, I mean, it was badass, but Hulk didn't wield a fucking sword, not once. And I was just thinking to myself, fuck, you got to be kidding me. Like, you talk about false advertising. I mean, goddamn. I mean, I know fucking covers they're not the same as what's inside most of the time, but to do something like that, I mean, goddamn. I mean, it pissed me off. It really, really irked me. Yeah. But then I told myself if I ever did a comic and I'm gonna have somebody do a a cover, I'm gonna make sure they don't do some sort of bait and switch, you know. Like, don't have my main character wielding a fucking axe if they're not gonna be wielding an axe. Something fucking stupid, you know. A lot of people do that. There's a whole I mean, well, anybody familiar with comics knows there's a huge grift with the variant cover thing. Yeah, I just heard a study, was doing some research for show prep, and I remember seeing a study about couples who get married, and the ones who get married that didn't live together first, they have a much lower divorce rate, I guess. It was pretty interesting. Seems like if you were living with somebody, you would get used to them and kind of know their quirks or whatever. But I guess not. Then I got to thinking about hypergamy in marriage. Anybody doesn't know what hypergamy is? It's the term for when women are always looking to find something bigger and better, you know. The dude she's with, she's always looking over her shoulder, seeing if she can find somebody else. And as soon as she does, just like a monkey swinging from branch to branch, she'll swing onto another branch, you know, jump onto another guy. It's called monkey branching. That's what the term is. But I always figured, you know, hypergamy ends at marriage. Once you get married, then the woman should stop looking over the man's shoulder thinking she could upgrade to something bigger and better. But the problem is feminism has trained your modern Western woman to where even after she gets married, she's still hypergamous. Like, hypergamy should end at marriage, but it doesn't. No. It's all because of feminism. Feminism. The most evil, wicked, dangerous ideology the earth has ever known. It's because it is the antithesis of love itself. Yeah, I noticed this is a huge epidemic in society. Post-marriage hypergamy. Women thinking they could monkey branch onto something bigger and better once they're with a husband and children and shit. Like, no, bitch, once you get married and you have kids, like, there's in your vows it says till death do us part. Does that mean nothing? No, I guess not. The reality is, all a marriage is in this day and age, all it is, it's a legal document that brings government, courts, and lawyers into your relationship. That's all a marriage is. Nothing more. Yeah, I can see why less than 7 dudes out of 1,000 are getting married nowadays. Like, they're starting to wise up. Jack Stafford, did you see the coven on the Jack show? Astrology, tarot cards, all kinds of witchcraft? No, I didn't see that. I tried watching the Jack show here a little bit. I got about 2 minutes in, but then they started talking about pussy farts and shit like that. But at least I got to hear Cecil with his good line. It was probably the funniest line I've ever seen Cecil deliver easily. And it was when Yanzi came onto the screen and she was doing something stupid, I think. And Cecil's like, "Don't worry, Yanzi, we love you a long time." Oh god, that was hilarious. Because I was always like, if I was one of those types of people that super chatted, like if I was like Alien Xenomorph or something, I would super chat Shane's show, and my super chats would say something like, "Have or have Yanzi say, me love you long time," or have Yanzi say, sucky $5, or have Yanzi say, soul brother too big. You know, those lines from Full Metal Jacket. Like, I'm surprised nobody's done that yet. But yeah, Cecil, he had, like, this was the first time Cecil had made me laugh in, like, I think years. Yeah, I wonder if that's going to catch him some ire behind the scenes, because Shane and Yanzi seem a bit sensitive about all that. Or it could all just be a show that they like to use it as a cudgel against the SJWs on Twitter, I guess. Maybe that could be a thing. Yeah, I got to thinking about how to get people starting marrying again, because there's got to be some way to jumpstart the marriage process. And besides, just completely turning back the tide of feminism, which you're not going to be able to do all at once. But in this day and age, it's like you gotta basically incentivize people to get married, and then you got to change the fucking family courts too. Like, change those family courts where the father gets at least half custody. Fucking that law's got to change. And then I actually figured out a way to possibly kill several birds with one stone and possibly save Western civilization. And this is how you do it. You see, anybody who's done a tactical assessment of the situation and scenario knows that, well, the boomers, they fucked it all up for everyone. Gen X, they pretty much throw away. Fucking Gen Z, they're probably going to be sterilized. The only hope lies with the millennials. That's it's sad, I know, but the only hope lies with the millennials. The only problem is the millennials are so fucking stupid. They just can't get it together. And one reason they can't get it together is they're in debt. You see, a lot of these stupid millennials were tricked into going to school and getting 6 figures in debt. And this is one of the key reasons why people aren't getting married anymore, besides feminism. All of that debt from student loans. Now you hear all of these people crowing all the time about, oh, let's forgive the student loans, this, forgive the student loans, that. Like, they're never going to forgive the fucking student loans. Never, ever. No, no, no. But if you truly want to start things and kick the millennials in the ass and get their fucking shit going, this is what you do. You incentivize people for not only getting married, but having children. Once they get married and have 2 children, then like that, their student loan debt is wiped clean. That's how you incentivize people to start having families again. Wipe their student loan debt. That's it. And like that, it'd be like planting the seeds, and then you see the fucking fertile fields start to grow. Because then once they're unshackled from the debt, yeah, here's one better yet. Like, fucking give them some free money too. $25,000 or something like that if you get married. And then once you have 2 kids, then fucking your fucking student loan debt's cleared. And like that, boom. Because then they could take that money, start a business, or put a down payment on a house, start their lives. Then incentivize people to start having kids again. Fix the family courts to where, you know, the woman's not going to fucking steal the children the moment they have the kids, And if she does, at least the father gets half custody, You'll be able to see him half the time. Like, you do those steps right there, I bet that would fix a lot of things. Like, oh yeah, but people shouldn't be getting their student loans forgiven. Like, who gives a fuck? It's just inanimate rectangular paper. Like, who gives a fuck in the grand scheme of things? So they were tricked by their stupid boomer fucking parents and taking up stupid fucking bullshit. Tricked into believing that school and career was more important than love and family. It's like, it's not their fault. They were tricked into fucking blood sacrifice by their fucking stupid boomer parents and grandparents. Yeah, there's a little something that will never happen though. Yeah, feminism. The red pill is one of the few things fighting back against it. Said this before, the red pill is the true gospel, sowing the seeds of strength in the souls of men. Strong men are what's needed to fight against these feminists. Yeah, just imagine if the prophet Elijah, fucking if Jezebel sent her 700 evil priests against him, and instead of taking them on and just fucking shouting them down with the word of God, instead he decided to go hide in his safe space so the feminists won't see him and talk to him. Just imagine if the prophet Elijah did that instead of taking them on. No. We need strong men taking on these fuckers, taking them on the field of battle, metaphorically. Yeah, because if you, well, if you speak truth to wokeness, then wokeness won't take hold and rot fucking society the way it has, so to speak. Speak truth to wokeness. Yeah, I still can't believe the left is giving away free crack pipes to their voters. I still can't believe that shit. And then again, this is the left. You can't put nothing past them. Can't put nothing past those fuckers. Yeah, what I really hope they don't do is try to institute some sort of martial law bullshit before the elections. Yeah. Because if they see the writing on the wall and they can't debo it the way they did last time, they're probably going to do some sort of martial law type scenario by staging false flags, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, you can't put nothing past these fuckers. Yeah, people could take a page out of those Canadian truckers' book. No matter what the Canadian government are hitting them with, they're countering back, but they're doing so in a non-violent way. I can't believe those fuckers are taking their firewood. It's like Ebenezer Scrooge level villainy. Fucking cuck Trudeau. Yeah, Trudeau has jumped the shark so badly. I guess Bill Maher himself has gone on the record and like calling him out. I saw it on a clip. Like hearing Trudeau's rhetoric, it literally sounds like some shit out of 1930s Germany. Like I'm not fucking kidding. Not in the good way. Ugh. A lot of mercy. Yeah, the only real thing I know about Canadian or Canada and Canadian culture is Trailer Park Boys, you know? And Ricky and those guys, they're always packing 9 millimeters, so maybe Canadians are strapped. Because anybody knows the reason why the Second Amendment exists in America is to overthrow tyranny. If the government gets too tyrannical, then we can overthrow them. I mean, that's the fucking reason the Second Amendment exists. And well, look at poor Australia. They gave up their fucking weapons, and look at them. They're being put in camps. Those poor Aussies. All right. Yeah, we've ranted and raved quite a bit. Maybe we'll shut the show down. Close out with a couple of songs. Hmm. All I know is it's better to burn out than to fade away. My, hey, hey. The king is gone, but he's not forgotten. And this is the story of a Johnny Rotten. My, hey, hey. Rock and roll is here to stay. It's better to burn now than to fade away. My, hey, hey. Out of the blue and into the black. Then give you this, but you pay for that. Once you're gone, you can't never go back. When you're out of the blue and into the black. The king is gone, but he's not forgotten. This is the story of the Johnny Rotten. It's better to burn out than it is to rust. The king is gone, but he's not forgotten. Hey, hey, my, rock and roll will never die. There's more to the picture than meets the eye. Hey, hey, my. Rock and roll will never die. My, hey, hey. Rock and roll is here to stay. It's better to burn out than to fade away. My, hey, hey. A little Neil Young for you. One thing I like to do is troll Neil Young. You know what they call a male Karen? A Neil. Fucking Neil Young. Yeah, I remember he was crying like a little bitch because of Joe Rogan on the Spotify and shit. I guess Elvira started fucking crowing about that shit too. Like Elvira of all people. Like Elvira. The most surprising thing to me was finding out that Elvira was still alive. I'm like, Elvira's still alive? Shit. Guess she's trying to make herself relevant again. You know, all these old leftists coming out of the woodwork. You know, they used to be all pro freedom and this and that, and now they fucking just completely sold out to the establishment. It's pretty funny. Fucking leftists. Yeah, but one thing about Big Daddy, I'll never back down. No, I will not back down. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, and I stand my ground. No, I won't back down. Know what's right. I've got just one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Gonna stand my ground, won't be turned around. And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around, but I stand my ground, and I won't back down. Oh no, I won't back down. I'd like to thank y'all for coming out. You know she tied me up to a stake, burned alive, hellfire flame, screaming, wailing, crying pain. Things will never feel the same. She's gone and left me so unwhole. She's gone and blessed me with an iron soul. This heart of pain don't feel no more. I am the man in the iron soul. I am the man in the iron soul. I am the man in the iron soul. I feel so good, I can't explode. Booted out of heaven's door. Quoth the raven nevermore. Quoth the raven nevermore. This heart of pain don't feel no more. I am the man in the iron soul. I am the man in the iron soul. I am the man in the iron soul. Quoth the raven nevermore. Quoth the raven nevermore.